Hey everyone, I thought a Valentine's craft was in order. So I have these branded, they're actually coasters, and they were sent to my office, and I knew they were going to get trashed. So I thought I'd take them, rescue them, give them a whole new look. I'm going to make a Valentine's sign, and there are 4 of these coasters, so I figured I'd spell out the word love. It'd be perfect for Valentine's Day. So I am taking some sheet music. Coincidentally, this is my dad's piano lesson sheet music. My dad does not play the piano, um, but he did take lessons. So kind of funny there. But that's going to go on 2 of these coasters. So I am just laying the coasters on top, tracing around them to where I get a pretty layout of the sheet music, and it'll look nice. And then I've got this packaging that I thought was pretty and kind of romantic looking. That'll go on 2 of the coasters. So I'm just going to cut out this sheet music to fit the size of the coasters. And I'm going to do the same thing with the cardboard pieces. So you can use anything you want, but I'm going to attach everything with matte Mod Podge. I usually use that for any type of coverage glue. My handwriting sucks, so I'm going to use a stencil. I'm using this folk art paint in Cardinal Red, and I thought that was a really pretty Valentine's color. I struggled a little bit with the stencil, to be honest, you guys. I'm not great at stenciling either, so I used this new brush that I had, and the biggest lesson I learned in working with a stencil is you should not use a lot of paint. When I flipped it over, you can see there was some bleed through. So you just want to be really careful when you're working with a stencil to not put too much paint on your brush, because you could have bleed over, especially on something that's as light colored as these materials are. So as you can see, I am alternating my coasters with the LOVE. And I would stencil again. I think it just takes probably a little bit of practice to get your technique down and figure out how to not use too much paint. So if you're discouraged, I would say give it another shot. Don't give up. Keep trying. You will get better. So there's my love sign, and I figured it needed a base. So I had this upholstery, I think it's called upholstery webbing, but look how beautiful it is. It's burlap and red threads. I just figured it went with this whole romantic Valentine's vibe. And so now I'm just taking my glue gun. I've got my former coasters spaced out on the burlap in a way that I think the spacing works and it looks nice and it's the length that I want. So super easy to use, super easy to do. And just go around with some hot glue and make sure you press it down pretty good. And you can do this if you have old coasters lying around the house, or you have some that you find at the thrift store. So I figured this needed a little embellishment. I am by no means a bow maker, but I've seen some other crafters do this type of bow. I'm just going to call it a crossbow. I have no idea what it is. But you can see that I am taking different lengths of fabric and ribbon, different lengths and different widths, and I'm stacking them in kind of a diagonal way. This is about as far as I go in bow making, you guys. It's not my forte, but if I can make this bow, you can make this bow, trust me. So I've got that, and then I've got another little piece. I'm finishing up with my smallest ribbon. I'm going to take a very small piece of ribbon. See how I slide it under? And this is where I got a little nervous, but just bear with me. It's going to come out. And so here is, I'm going to knot on the front and the back. And this is where I realized there's so much finesse in bow making, and you have to spend a lot of time fluffing, which I didn't realize. You can also take the time to trim your ends if you want to make them different. I took another bow and added it to the top just to kind of disguise that. And this needed to go on the top of my piece, of course. So then I realized if I fluffed it a little bit more, I would end up with the ultimate bow that I was looking for. I'd do this again in a heartbeat. This bow was pretty easy. Trust me, if I can do it, you can do it. Last thing I did was go around each letter with this bi-colored twine and just glued it down for a more finished look. Hope you guys enjoy this little fun Valentine's sign. Thank you.